The committee is reviewing testimony regarding potential obstruction on this issue, including testimony about advice given not to tell the committee about this specific topic.
Committee Resolution 1, resolved that the chairman be and is hereby directed to subpoena Donald J. Trump for documents and testimony in connection with the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol.
The violence and lawlessness of January 6th was unjustifiable, but our nation cannot only punish the foot soldiers who stormed our Capitol. Those who planned to overturn our election and brought us to the point of violence must also be accountable. With every effort to excuse or justify the conduct of the former president, we chip away at the foundation of our republic.
The January 6th committee concluded yesterday's hearing by voting to subpoena former President Donald Trump.
That's right. Another seismic moment we carried here live on CBS News. Well, this morning, the former president responded with a letter posted on his social media platform addressed to Chairman Benny Thompson. That document begins by saying, in capital letters, quote, "The presidential election of 2020 was rigged and stolen," with a little exclamation point as well. Of course, that statement has been repeatedly disproved. No courtroom has upheld that remark. The letter goes on to criticize the January 6th committee. Trump claimed he, quote, "did his job on and before January 6th. But interestingly, he did not say whether or not he would comply with the subpoena. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now to speak more about this. And we should clarify for our viewers, Scott, the committee voted to subpoena the former president, but hasn't actually done it yet. So lay out for us how this will play out, and if President Trump will even agree to show up, and maybe if he does, he'll just plead the fifth. What should we expect?
Hey, Errol and Elaine, all of this is a race against the clock. This January 6th Select Committee has less than 3 months to finish up its work. When this Congress ends at the end of the calendar year, this committee ends. So already they're in the 11th hour, and now they've done this unprecedented thing for the panel, voting to issue a subpoena to the former president. Even the issuing of a subpoena takes time. The chairman will have to put it on paper, send it out, make sure that the former president has time to receive it, and set some deadlines in there. All the while, the clock is ticking. There is nobody who woke up this morning in Washington with a firm expectation the former president was going to run right down to the committee, testify, and hand over his documents. Oftentimes with these subpoenas and these requests for documents and interviews, there's a negotiation, there's a back and forth communication, but it goes back to the initial point, Elaine and Errol. The clock is ticking quickly on this panel, and they recognize that. They recognize they've left this for the 11th hour, which raises the prospect they wanted to get on the record about this. They wanted to make this part of the formal work of the committee without a firm expectation they'd get a face-to-face interview with Donald Trump.
All right, so with that time frame in mind, Scott, as you said, the committee mentioned further testimony and investigations regarding potential obstruction of justice, but they only have a couple more months to wrap this up. So how realistically do you see this playing out?
Well, we see one thing for sure on the horizon, a definite. There's definitely going to be a written final report for this committee. The same legislation that passed Congress to create this committee also requires a written report, a comprehensive iteration of their findings be issued. And the time frame on that is likely late November, early December. And whatever they find, whatever they get from the former president would certainly be included in that final report. But so too will be all these other things the committee found or dug up that didn't make it into the public hearings. They had a series of 10 public hearings, but there were things they didn't get to that we were told they've been investigating. We know they had a team chasing the money trail, the money that was raised and generated before January 6th, including after the election. Didn't get much of that in the hearings. We know there was a team assigned to look into security failures here at the Capitol, intelligence and communication failures. They didn't get a hearing on that. That'll likely make it into the final report. Whatever they can glean from the former president between now and the issuance of the final report, that'll be included too. To be clear, Errol and Elaine, the committee members have tried to raise expectations about that final report, to avert our gaze there, as if to say, this is where everything's going to be. Wait till we issue this.
I have to say, Scott, in watching the presentation yesterday, what jumped out to me was that, 7 or minutes so clip of congressional leadership scrambling to just be safe. I'm curious from your point of view, considering you've been steeped in everything January 6th for a while, what jumped out at you and perhaps surprised or stuck with you the most?
Yeah, the committee had promised, Errol, never before seen images ahead of this hearing, potentially to galvanize some interest and some viewership for it. And they certainly delivered with that excerpt of the congressional leadership in hiding in their evacuation site as the riot was ongoing. You see members of Congress, you hear members of Congress trying to muster a defense, to rally the National Guard, to get something from the Department of Defense or the Department of Justice to save their stranded colleagues. That gets your attention, but it also gets to an argument the committee's been making. They've been arguing emphatically that there was a dereliction of duty by the former president, that he didn't do what presidents do when America was being attacked. And this video underscores the point they're making, that members of Congress tried to step in and fill that gap. What jumped out at me most, though, was the response from Speaker Pelosi when somebody in the room at the outset of that video said, "Your colleagues are in the House chamber wearing gas masks. The rioters are there." You could see it in her eyes. She was wearing a mask, but you could see it in her eyes. What a profound moment that was. What a seminal American moment was playing out just then. The video served two purposes, though, Errol and Elaine. It captured America's attention, which is one of the committee's goals, but also reinforced one of their points, which is certainly their goal.
Right, and striking to see political leaders from both parties in those moments in real time on January 6th. Scott MacFarlane on Capitol Hill for us. Scott, as always, we thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.